Everyone around me knows that I'm trans.
Amid the flashing lights of YouTube, with its larger-than-life personalities and amazing stunts, one creator stands out above the rest: MrBeast. The legion of standouts of fans whose force is good vibes was created by the one and only Jimmy Donaldson, known to millions as MrBeast, building an empire out of generosity and goodwill. But underneath this very utopia lies a dark cloud, ready to upset the entire picture literally and metaphorically that the image created around one of the platform's favorite sons is. Centered at the heart of it all is Chris Tyson, longtime friend and collaborator of MrBeast, now at the center of allegations likely to shake to the core the very foundations on which MrBeast has labored so hard to build. This is the story of how one scandal threatens to redefine the very boundaries of online fame, trust, and the very nature of the content creation community. Jimmy Donaldson, better known as MrBeast, would rise in nothing less than a digital phenomenon. Not just a content creator, with 1 billion views on his YouTube channel and subscribers increasing by the 1,000 every minute, he is one big cultural force in himself. Known for his elaborate challenges and philanthropic stunts, seemingly having an endless supply for his generosity, MrBeast has really cultivated a brand that screams of positivity, kindness, and the giving spirit. He has millions of viewers, many of them being young and really looking up to him as a role model. But in 2024, the bright cover of this empire started to crumble. Everything took place not through any kind of wrong action from MrBeast himself, but through allegations leveled against one of his closest associates, Chris Tyson. Chris Tyson made an integral part of instrumental support in the team of MrBeast and had been a close, longtime friend of Jimmy Donaldson, so his charismatic presence and the countless times he featured in the majority of significant videos on MrBeast's YouTube channel made him an easily recognizable figure in the fan base. But then, in 2024, Chris got caught up in a scandal that threatened to blot out all the sunshine that representatives of the MrBeast brand had come to symbolize. They accused Chris Tyson of wrong communication with a minor young fan at the age of 13 who had already won one of the competitions arranged by the MrBeast brand. These rumors did not turn out to be isolated cases hidden in the dark corners of the internet, as reports quickly followed, igniting outrage in almost every social media platform. Allegations include him having a relationship of sorts with the minor in question and keeping in contact with her over the span of a couple of years through different social media platforms, mainly through Snapchat and Discord. The nature of these communications, according to the accusers, contained sexual comments and improper conversations that were outside the scope of innocent fan behavior. Screenshots of this conversation began surfacing on the internet, describing the relationship of the minor in question with the YouTuber Markiplier to be exploitative and predatory. The minor in question, who is now older, has said that these all started innocuously, but quickly snowballed into something inappropriate. The public was very quick and merciless with its reaction. The fans who had idolized Chris now found seeing the integrity of someone they had admired so much questioned. This was a backlash extending not just for Chris, but against the whole MrBeast brand and seriously critical views on the ethical responsibilities of the creators people followed so dutifully. As the accusations gained more steam, many began to speculate and put more thought into what MrBeast knew about Chris Tyson's behavior and when he knew it. A former MrBeast employee who goes by the name Dawson suggested that concerns about Chris in the camp had been raised well before the rumors started swirling. This person indicated Chris was, in their words, a looming liability for some time, but dealing with the potential threat was not something they could do easily. Having made many revelations, Dawson indicated that Chris had threatened to take severe action against them if they dared to dissociate themselves from the MrBeast channel in any manner, considering their heavy association with the brand and the information they had on how everything went about within. Dawson's revelations have further brought it on, indicating the MrBeast team knew all the possible mess that could happen, but for them, it was a case of being caught between the devil and the deep sea, legally and personally. But the reality is that these allegations have really tarnished the MrBeast brand name. While no allegations are laid against Jimmy Donaldson himself, his character is not at all shrouded with any misdeeds due to the association with Chris Tyson. Basically, MrBeast had built his whole empire on pillars of trust, generosity, and a positive influence towards people more like to everyone and everything. The online community, especially the parents of the young viewers, took this situation in bad faith and began to question the safety and the appropriateness of the content and the individuals behind it. This also unveiled another aspect of parasocial relationships, the dark side of them, which is the one-sided relationship that the fans often develop with an online personality. In this YouTube and social media world, where content creators are accessible in ways that even the traditional celebrities are not, fans, especially the young ones, can easily get emotionally attached to their favorite creators. These potentially benign relationships then become dangerous when the power dynamics are then exploited, as alleged in the case of Chris Tyson. Young fans of online personalities such as Chris Tyson do not necessarily comprehend the difference between their being fans and having a personal relationship with the figure. Well, the idea that the figure would pay attention to them entangles such fans into the net and makes them quite open to manipulation or even grooming in the name of entertainment, but really leading to exploitation. Well, the Chris Tyson allegations are a stark reminder that there is always lurking in these digital spaces great potential danger, in which what is shown behind the screen lies the shape of the reality about a person. Legally, a positive claim against Chris Tyson would have affected him badly. Inappropriate communication with a minor is itself a crime, but emanating from it are other equally serious legal ramifications, such as potential criminal charges, including a jail sentence and listing as a sex offender. Further, the civil implications could include potential lawsuits by the victim or the victim's family in terms of emotional and psychological harm. After all, this is not just a legal, but also an ethical issue for content creators in the digital era. Online personalities, being huge influencers, hold a lot of power over their audience. This, of course, has to be done responsibly with an awareness of looking out for and respectfully treating their fans, especially the youngest and most impressionable among them. These allegations against Chris Tyson have, however, opened a public debate on how guidelines can be tightened and better checked, and balances put in place in the online content creation industry. Content creators have to be mindful of setting limitations and making sure they are not crossed in the sphere of ethics. Moreover, there needs to be a robust system in place for vetting individuals who appear on influential platforms like MrBeast's channel. The safety of the audience, especially minors, should be a top priority, and this requires a commitment to ethical standards that go beyond mere legal compliance. The fallout from the Chris Tyson allegations has already begun to reshape the landscape of online content creation. It is not only enough to just entertain, they have to think about the influence their creation and action have on the audience. For MrBeast, it embarks on an important crossroad in his career. It follows that what will define the future trajectory of his brand is how he navigates the fallout from the allegations arising from Chris Tyson. This will go beyond Laskar's efforts to contain damage and feature directness and fact-checking. MrBeast has built his empire on the foundation of giving and making the world a better place. He must now more than ever show that such values are not a marketing strategy, but a core part of his being and brand. The scandal, at the same time, ignited a wide discussion on who an influencer is and what values or behaviors they were spreading to their spectators. Content creators are public figures by default and should adhere to some level of ethicality in using platforms to effect change. The situation with Chris Tyson is a sore reminder of the possible backlash of what can come when the responsibility in that regard is not handled with the seriousness it deserves toward content. In the end, the Chris Tyson allegations have sent shockwaves through the online creator community and serve as a stark reminder of ethical behavior and accountability. The repercussions of this scandal is quite likely to disturb the landscape of MrBeast's brand together with the online scenery as a whole for a long time. In the context of such a dynamically growing digital landscape, content developers, platforms, and audiences at varying levels must all work with and by the values of trust, integrity, and responsibility. It is then that the digital world is made secure and affirmative for everyone, especially for young and vulnerable audiences who look to the digital platform for inspiration and entertainment. The Chris Tyson scandal is a turning point in the soon-to-be long history of content creation on the internet, which will most likely shape the outcome of the future going forward. For MrBeast, it's a period to reflect and take corresponding action by re-establishing values that make his brand among the few global successes. This ensures that the trust from his audience is never again lost. It might be tough in the roads ahead, but with the right approach, MrBeast might find himself leaving this controversy stronger and more committed to making a greater positive change in the world. The Chris Tyson allegations are just a piece in the digital awakening and a reminder to people working with online content. The case brought out the need for higher industry accountability, transparency, and standards of operation. As audiences continue to increasingly consume content on platforms such as YouTube, this becomes very important since they have to really be certain that the creators they are supporting are people of high standards of integrity and responsibility. This scandal definitely taught a lesson or two on how the future of online content creation is going to look like for creators and how spaces are going to be regulated by offline platform mechanisms. There is an urgent need for the protection and accountability of these millions of young viewers who turn to these online platforms for entertainment and inspiration. The Chris Tyson scandal is a very good reminder that so much power comes with a lot of responsibility. That means the responsibility to all and any of us to make sure that the digital world remains safe and wholesome for all. It is the dust from such a bombastic revelation in the case of Chris Tyson that will have undeniable implications on MrBeast's brand, and hence, essentially the whole community of content creators online. As the world continues to look on, it is now, more than ever, that content creators need to keep trust and adhere to ethical standards in their work. It's necessary we be paying attention because it's such a sensitive time. If you guys found this deep dive into the Chris Tyson and MrBeast controversy and all that helpful in any way, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and hopefully this video gets a thumbs up to help me out in the algorithm to spread information. Let me know your thoughts and reactions in the comments below because your voice is major for this ongoing conversation around online spaces and activities. Please stay with us for an in-depth analysis and updates on this and more trending topics. Thank you for watching, and remember that with your support, we can bring you stories that matter most.